Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from KYNT Studios on Broadway in Yankton. This is Huddling with the Herd, your weekly wrap-up of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics, right here on KYNT and on KYN-TV, with yours truly, Brayden Butler. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday morning. We got the football coaches in again today. We're also talking volleyball, cross-country, and competitive cheer and dance. We're getting down to the end of the fall season as we are going to wrap up cross-country, competitive cheer and dance today. They had their state tournaments last week. Volleyball getting into their final week of the regular season. Football advancing to the semifinals of the 11AA playoffs. So we're basically rounding down the fall season, getting ready for winter athletics here shortly on Huddling with the Herd. But still plenty to talk about. There's a reason you tuned in on a Saturday morning, and it's to hear about Bucks and Gazelles athletics. When we come back, we'll have head coach Brady Muth and defensive coordinator Justin Olson coming into the studio to talk about the Bucks win on Thursday. Wanted to say on Friday. On Thursday, over Spearfish 12-7 in the 11AA quarterfinals. We'll talk with both of them when we come back. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV. Back after this.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first. We offer expertise and experience, where your long-term eye care is our concern. State-of-the-art technology, where we never lose sight of quality. Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Mount Marty is committed to excellence in nursing.
We really go the extra mile to care for our students as a whole person. My name is Crystal Diedrichson. I am an associate professor of nursing at Mount Marty. As a Catholic Benedictine university, we can incorporate God and prayer in our regular classwork and interactions with students. And in addition to that, we care about the students in other aspects of their lives.
Start your journey at mountmarty.edu.
At the Bar is the bar for sports fans. With coverage of NFL, college football favorites, Yankton High School action, and NHL hockey too. Open 7 days a week. Bring in your crew, grab a table, and take in all the action surrounded by fans who love the game as much as you do. The energy's better, the company's great, and the beverages are cold, just the way game day should be. You can watch the game anywhere, but real fans gather at the Bar in downtown Yankton.
FNBO is the great big small bank, and for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
We're passionate about getting yearly mammograms because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. You can get a yearly mammogram to detect it early. Would it help if I requested nicely? Please, could you be so kind as to get a mammo? Or singing it. Get your mammogram starting at 40. Or with a British accent. Schedule your mammo with an Avera Breast Center at avera.org/breast or call 888-422-1410.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance.
For coverage you can count on, call Brendan Hansen or Brandon Tykrow in Yankton today.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. We got head coach Brady Muth and defensive coordinator Justin Olson in the booth today, coming off of a 12-7 win on Thursday over the Spearfish Spartans in the opening round of the 11AA playoffs. Coach Muth, Coach Olson, how are you guys doing this morning?
Doing all right. Not too bad at all.
I appreciate you guys for coming in. I know we kind of joked it's weird having the gap day between, because I know last week's show was a much more condensed, just had a phone call interview with Coach Muth. But thank you both for coming in this morning. Hard-fought victory over Spearfish on Thursday, and the scoreline kind of implies that defense reigned supreme, which is true. Kept each other out of the end zone fairly well, but almost 600 yards combined of total offense. Both offenses were able to get down the field, but weren't really able to put the finishing touches on.
Yeah, that on our side, that's probably what's the most frustrating thing. You've got to, especially get down in the red zone and in the low red, you got to be able to score. And that's, I mean, it gets tougher down there. And we ran the ball better this week. And if you want to have success down there, you got to keep being able to run the football. And so we're trending in the right direction. But you've got to tip your cap to Spearfish too. I mean, they played a good game and they're a tough team, and they were motivated to win the football game. And so when you get into games like that, it's tough sledding sometimes. You got to play complementary football. Our special teams and our defense played really, really well. Our offense maybe struggled a little bit, especially down in the low red.
The run game you brought up, it feels like, I know you say you don't want to sound like a broken record, but running the football, being physical is something you preach every single week. And to the tune of 239 total yards of rushing offense for your team this week. Jay Sedlacek leading the way, 168 yards for him on 27 carries. He was the definition of a bell cow on Thursday.
Yeah, and in our offense, I mean, I think offensive football has evolved a lot to, if you go back to the single wing, there's 4 guys in the backfield, and there's ball, hiding tricks and all that kind of stuff, and to the double wing where there's a fake and a give and play action and things off of that, to the spread power run, the constraints on a play are out in the perimeter, and that's where the RPO game gets involved. But if you're going to be able to do any of that, you still have to be able to run the football, and in the spread you need to have a guy like Jace that can carry the ball 25 times and do it effectively, and game in, game out, he's done that for us.
And he was pretty consistent on a rush-by-rush basis. Did not have a negative rush on the day, but most of them 3, 4, 5 yards, and then broke out for 10, 12, 16 as well, longest being 25. So he was consistent, but then did have those breakaways.
I think that's the thing, too, that was the most fun for me, to be able to see Jace break some of those, because he's been close where he's gotten tripped up, somewhere maybe 6 yards into the run or whatever. It's still a good carry, but he gets tripped up by one guy, and I think he's done a really good job, especially, I don't know, this week he seemed like he did a very much better job of reading his blocks and making one cut and then exploding, and I think that you saw that Thursday night.
On the defensive side of the ball, Coach Olson, I know the yardage total might not be something that you were happy with, but only 7 points to show for it. I think they had goal-to-go situations on 2 separate occasions that did not bear any points for Spearfish, so that's got to be some things you're really proud of heading into the semifinals.
Yeah, like Coach Moose said, Spearfish is a good team. They put up some great offensive numbers. They have some great weapons. And, to kind of, you go back to that bend, not break mentality and come up with some big stops, that shows, that how strong in the mind that our guys were, especially – down there in the low red zone and on the goal line, in fact, to get those stops and flip the field again and, get the offense back going the other way, that's huge. And not allowing a point until, the second half. I thought those guys fought hard, and just super proud of those guys, and just the mentality that they came in to see them kind of evolving from at the end of the season to this new playoff season, postseason. That they stepped it up another notch, and we got to keep on climbing because we're not quite there yet. But certainly, the other night it was fun to watch those guys just go out and play even more physical football, and also kind of getting the reads and getting in the right spots. That was really fun to watch them play.
I always I try to toe the line between putting too much praise on a single player because I know it's a team effort, but I was really impressed with how Tegan LaCroix played on everywhere on Thursday night. Ends up getting that interception to seal it late, but it felt like he was really on the RPOs where they have that third pass option as well. He was flying to the ball and wreaking havoc throughout the night.
Yeah, and that's Tegan, like we mentioned before, he's a special player. We have a lot of special players that can do a lot of different things, and what makes him even more unique is that we put him in a little bit of different position on defense and gave him basically, one job. You're going to go downhill and you're going to go right at the quarterback. If he scrambles, you got him. Any outside run, you got him, and he just has the speed and the explosiveness, and he can tackle. For his size, he's a good tackler, and he not only can do that, but then he breaks off and gets into the coverage mode when we had to go into coverage. And like I said, he kind of sealed the deal on that interception. So I'm glad that we have number 16 on our side, and he's not done. I mean, he's a weapon, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And when you have a three-ringer like that, it's pretty nice to have.
I got a chance to talk to him last Tuesday for our Buck in the Headlight interview, and he was very blunt. I asked him like his mentality and whatever on the field. I just like having the ball in my hands and seeing what happens from there. He seems like a fun kid, and he's a fun guy to watch on the football field. And you put the ball in his hands a couple times on offense as well. I remember a 3rd and 14 ends up being a quarterback run, gets 13 yards, and then he gets the first down after that as well. But,
yeah, we've had a package in since from August, probably July, where Tegan's going to get in the game and he's going to play at the quarterback position. You've seen Tegan play the wide receiver position. On offense, his normal position is quarterback. But with an athlete like that, you just find ways to get him on the field. And so Coach Huber's done a really good job of being creative and finding ways to highlight our playmakers. And this is one of the things that we've kind of had in our back pocket for a while, where we can put him on the field when we need a spark, if they're maybe just a change-up or something different. I thought, the way that was executed was perfect, did exactly what it was supposed to do, and got points on the board when we really needed points on the board. And so, like I said, again, Tegan likes to have the ball in his hands. We like to have the ball in Tegan's hands too, just because he's such a competitor that he's going to get the thing, across the line when he needs to.
Back home on Friday, one final time at Crane Youngworth Field this season. You're bringing the Sturgis Scoopers are coming to town, so another West River team making that trip. And I know media narratives aren't something that maybe you guys enjoy all the time, but a little bit of revenge maybe for you guys.
Well, and that obviously is the storyline, and our kids, they're human, and they've already talked about that. And I think the minute we got on the bus in Sturgis, that was the goal, was, in their mindset was we need to have this game back so we can right the ship, or, kind of rectify the situation. I can appreciate all of that, but there's a lot of reasons to win this football game, and revenge is like 8th on the list.
Right.
So, and you have to get emotion out of the way. It's just got to be business. And I understand they want to prove to the state that, they didn't give their best effort out there or whatever. But I think the bigger storyline is we need to play this game physically and win it, because it's the next game in front of us. And after that is a championship opportunity. And so, the revenge thing, we can set that aside for a while. We need to take care of business and win a football game in a physical manner.
That's, I know a lot of people, I don't know if they'll like to hear that, but that is what it is at the end of the day. You guys are a very business mentality. I always appreciate talking to you about that. But just one final question for both of you guys. This is Friday night, no matter what. Last time a lot of these guys get to suit up on Crane Youngworth Field is the last time you guys get to coach at Crane for a year. What is that going to feel like on Friday, no matter what, at the end of the game?
That's a real emotional thing. I mean, that's where the emotion comes into play, because that place for a lot of people for a lot of years has been home, and it's meant a lot of things. And there's been some really great memories on that field, and there will be many more great memories made on that field. And those guys, I know if you talk to our players or people that have played on Crane Youngworth, and even the people from Spearfish that we were visiting with before the game, just about the facility and the field and the way it feels and all of those things. It'll always be home, but it's one of those things when you're in it, you don't really appreciate it until it starts to go away. And, I just hope that they realize that that'll always be home for them, and cherish the memories that they've made there. They're valuable. They mean something to those kids, and they're building blocks in their life. And so, I think, the emotions of that afterwards, we'll appreciate those when the time comes, and hopefully we can do it with a smile on our face.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I'm going to steal a line from the soap opera Days of Our Lives, like sands through the hourglass, when you start to see how it's kind of slipping away from you, those moments become even more precious and special. So this week to, those seniors, this week's going to be, one of those deals where, we will see, kind of what we've seen all year, but I think a little more emphasis on, the little things and just trying to clean it up, to make that last game on Crane, really, really special because it's a big deal that for them to achieve their goal, we need to win this. So for them to go out on a high and I think it's going to be really important, and these guys will come in and do what they need to do. But like I said, as that sand goes through and the closing time, comes, semisonic reference there. It's going to be, it's very emotional. And, coming from, for me, when I came, in 2010 from another, historic, kind of O'Gorman High School, and I know that's kind of a cuss word, down here. But with all their traditions and our traditions that we had and some special moments, when I came and was on Crane and even the renovations, it's everyone talks about, all my buddies say, hey, whoever's been here, it's just such a special place. The visiting teams, like Coach was saying, such a special place. The community, from the community to everyone that just embraces all the activities here at Yankton. And then especially football, it's a special place to be, and that will create those emotions. But like Coach said, it's going to be another business trip. And once we have that bus from the high school to here, that's what we say. Hey, it's business, and we got to do our thing. And then afterwards, we're going to revel in the emotions and let that take control. And then hopefully that'll bleed into something else pretty special, and so we can achieve our goals.
I appreciate you both for coming in this morning. Coach Muth, we'll talk more about what you're expecting from Sturgis later on in the week for our coach interview. But thanks both of you for coming in, and good luck on Friday against Sturgis.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks a lot.
That was head coach Brady Muth, defensive coordinator Justin Olson here on KYNT and KYNTV. We're back in a couple minutes here on Huddling with the Herd.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care, whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Credit union people are my people. Dreaming big, keeping life simple. Saving smart, living free. At Explorers Credit Union, you're just like me. We chart new trails, we stand tall. Together we rise, together we call. Credit union people are my people, it's true. And I found my crew at Explorers CU. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit ExplorerCU.com to join the journey today.
Are you huddling up with the relatives for the holidays or a Yankton or Mount Marty football game, but don't have enough space in your locker room? Book rooms at the Fairfield by Marriott are Holiday Inn Express. There won't be any roughing penalties with their clean, comfortable beds, and no interference on a relaxing stay. Remember, instead of everyone at your house, call on Audible and book rooms at the Fairfield by Marriott or Holiday Inn Express. For great rates and flexible reservation changes, call either hotel direct.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYNTV. Huddling with the Herd. We got offensive coordinator Terry Huber in the booth, as well as special teams coordinator Brady Hale. Coaches coming off of a 12-7 win on Thursday over the Spearfish Spartans. Coach Huber, we want to talk to you in our post-game coach interview. and it might retread a little bit from that, but we talked about the running game then. We're going to talk about the running game now. Over 230 yards total rushing, 168 for Jason Logic on his own. So the running game was really working well on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew coming into this game they had some big boys up front, but with the 5-2 they were running, I thought that we had a good opportunity there to get Jace quite a few yards. The O-line, they lived up to the challenge this week, making some big holes up front. We have some great leaders up there, across the board, and it's a bunch of guys who are pretty selfless up there. They want to do whatever they can so that they can celebrate with their buddies in the end zone once they get that touchdown. So very impressed with that. Jace is, it's so fun to watch, especially on film. Seeing how his feet they never stop. His legs are pumping the whole time. He might be busting through, 3-4 tackles, out of those 168 yards. I venture to say probably 60% of them are yards after contact. And, that's unbelievable for a kid like that on 27 attempts to be averaging over 6 yards carry is just crazy.
And did not have a single negative rush. Everything gained at least a yard. And that's not to say anything about your offensive line, but he was getting hit in the backfield at times and falling forward and getting those yards still.
Yeah, and we were actually kind of just talking about that as coaches. His degree that he's running at is, roughly that, 45, 50 degree angle. And because of that, sometimes if he, gets tripped up a little bit, it's, he's still going to fall forward for 6 yards rather than, maybe bouncing for another, 10 there. But we know that consistently he's going to get, anywhere from 2 to 6 yards because of that angle he's running at. Very tough to tackle whenever you're a linebacker or a D lineman coming in when his thigh board is so far behind his shoulders. And so it's very fun to see, that the mechanics that he uses. And then I thought he was very patient last night as well. He was doing a great job. There was a few times throughout there that you saw some jump cuts or, ducking behind his lead blockers. And I thought he just did a great job with the vision. He's been progressing on his vision all season long, and he's peaking at the right time.
And, to have your starting running back peaking heading into the semifinal has to feel good. Makes the game plan a little easier, I bet.
Absolutely. The trust that I have in him and, in all of our running game there and the O-line up front is, unmatched. It's very exciting. Makes it, like you said, makes it a lot easier to game plan, knowing we have the dynamic offense that we can run, we can pass, we can do whatever we need to.
Coach Hale, you're my favorite person to talk to about special teams. One of the only people I admit that punters are super important. But I used to be one of those guys. All right,
that's all right.
Punters are people too, and they do a great job. And Liam Villanueva continues to be one of the best, if not the best punter in the state of South Dakota. Thought he flipped the field a couple times really well last night. Multiple drives for Spearfish starting inside their own 20. That's on the kicking game as well on kickoff. So Liam, once again, every week it feels like we talk about how impressive he is.
Yeah, he's just somehow finding another level every week. And punting just specifically, I thought he was the MVP potentially, if you take away Jace's amazing performance, obviously. But Liam was probably the MVP of the offense after Jace. There was a few drives where just because of field position, we couldn't get as aggressive on offense. So when you're punting from, your feet are in the end zone or you're wherever you are, if you kick a 25, 30-yard punt, then they get the ball at the 35, 40 going in. So for him to do what he did and flip the field, and I don't think he had a punt under 45 yards, maybe right at 45. And the most impressive part to me was every single one of them was fair caught, no return. Honestly, probably negative return yards because I know that first one, the kid, hit his hands and it rolled 8 more yards backwards, and we almost, were able to recover that inside their territory. But he played an amazing game. And then speaking to the kickoff too, me as a coach, I'd tell those guys we'd like to tackle the ball inside the 20, but the 25 is probably a more realistic goal, and I think that the one that went the farthest was right at the 25. So credit to not only Liam kicking off well, but then the coverage guys going down, flying down, making plays, doing what they're supposed to do, and it's been very fun the last couple of weeks because they're just finding their stride.
And I know you mentioned, starting field position, it can't be as aggressive on offense when you're backed up. Coach Huber, going back to you, is there any conversation with Coach Olson of forcing the turnover on downs when they're in the red zone and putting you guys back deep like that, or were you just happy to get the ball back?
I just love getting the ball, and it's something we talk about, and I pull up percentages to some of those leaders on the offense and tell you, this is the likely percentage of scoring here, and I want to beat that percentage. When you're backed up within your own 10-yard line, the likely percentage of you scoring is not over 20%. But I want to beat that. I don't really want to, just accept that probability as fate. I want to go out and I want to attack it and score. And I know, like our first touchdown drive, 91 yards. That's a big drive. It took 4 minutes off the clock. We ran 15 plays, which is a little more uncommon for our offense. This year we've had a few, that have been in the 12 to 15 range, but not many. Just because generally we're not as far backed up with field position. But, because our defense had those big stops, in the red zone, we did have to, it's just you have to have a kind of a volatile offense. You have to be flexible and be able to make those big drives. So, I'm just glad we got the ball. I'm not upset that, Coach Olsen got the turn. I'm just glad we got the ball back. And, I thought our boys handled that with zero pressure. That can be, a little nerve-wracking when the quarterback's standing on his goal line. Any kind of slip up and it could be 2 points to the other team, or, unfortunately it could be 6 to the other team. And so I thought they did a great job being poised and handled that situation very well.
You got Sturgis coming to town on Friday in the 11AA semifinals. Sturgis, the only 11AA team to get a win over Yankton this year. What is your mindset heading into that game? I know talking to Coach Muth earlier, he was kind of pushing the revenge angle to the side. This is just a business as usual. We need to get to the Dome.
Absolutely. This is. I would say that if we're going into this game, the mentality, especially offensively, has to be to physically execute every single play. Whether it's your block or your catch or your throw or your run, it doesn't matter. You have to be physical in it, and you have to execute it every time. I think we have set a level of where we want to be as close to perfect as possible on a Friday night. We did not get there, especially in our pass game on this last Thursday, and our guys know it. That's the best part is, it's not bringing them down. It's that we have so much more in the tank that we can put out there, and we've shown that throughout the season. But as a complete game, we did not put a complete game out there on Thursday, and I'm excited to see them do it because they're going to rise to the challenge this Friday, and it's going to be a complete game just because that's who we have. We have those leaders. We have those guys who want it that bad. And like I said, they just have to go out and physically execute against Sturgis. It's the game that's keeping us from next week, and that's what we need. We need that game.
Big one on Friday night at home. Crane Youngworth Field, perks of being a top 2 seed. You're at home until you potentially get to the Dome. So that'll be a big one on Friday. We'll be there as always. I don't remember the last time we weren't there for a Yankton game, so we will be there. We promise. Coach Hale, I won't. Every time you're in here, I talk to you about South Dakota State.
You can bring it up.
I won't bring up last week's game.
You can bring it up. It's okay.
I won't bring up last week's game because as a Coyote, I would be throwing stones in a glass house. I don't need that. But, this week, Indiana State, right? Indiana State, right? For you guys?
Indiana State,
What are you thinking about that one today?
Well, I think that's I'm never going to say it's a loss, but we're going to, I think we're 21-point favorites last time I checked. So hopefully that comes true. And Coach Jackson, he said the loss to NDSU is a bounding board forward. So that's what I'm going with.
When Coach Jackson came down here for a Yankton Quarterback Club meeting about a month or so ago now, and after he talked and I got a chance to speak with him a little bit, I looked at Kurt, our general manager, as I walked out and I said, dang it, they got a great coach. Yeah. That makes my life so much harder every time. But, good luck to the Jacks today. That hurt me to say. But good luck. Obviously, I'm going to say go Huskers. I know Sooners fan, right, Coach Huber?
Yeah. Well, let's not do that.
All right, we won't talk about this. Thank you both for coming in this morning. Good luck on Friday against Sturgis.
Thank you.
That was Coach Hale and Coach Huber here on KYNT for Huddling with the Herd. We're back in a couple minutes to keep things rolling.
Back to school is an exciting time for students. It can also be a very stressful time. This is Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson from First Chiropractic Centers. Heavy backpacks can cause injuries in children, so start the year off right and make sure your child's backpack weighs no more than 5 to 10% of their body weight and doesn't hang more than 4 inches below the waistline. For pain or discomfort resulting from backpack use, call First Chiropractic Centers. Making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Looking for fuel or more? Stop by Triple Time Rudy's, your locally owned convenience store at 17th and Broadway. At Triple Time Rudy's, they're proud to support the community, offering fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers and backing local activities and events. Inside, you'll discover regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. Whether it's a quick snack, a tank of top-quality fuel, or a taste of local goodness, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling the community.
Buying or selling a home is a big decision. Work with someone who knows the ins and outs. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and with 20 years of experience, I will focus on the details while providing marketing knowledge, advice on staging, and negotiating to get your home sold. From start to finish, I'll guide you through the process, making sure nothing is overlooked. Call me, Deb Speck, Vision Real Estate, 605-664-5555.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. We're talking Yankton Bucks football still. 12-7 win over Spearfish on Thursday in the Class 11 AA quarterfinals. We got Dan Schwach and Jason Savvy, excuse me. I wanted to call you by your son's name for a second. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm sorry, Coach Savvy. But
happens.
We'll be talking to Blake in the winter season for girls basketball at Yankton High School. But Coach Schwach, Coach Savvy, hard-fought win on Thursday. Defense really rang true. Bend, don't break was felt like the mantra. A couple times they got down into the low red zone, and you were able to keep Spearfish out of the end zone. Coach Schwach, I know you work with D-line and stuff like that, but they felt like they were able to get some good pushes there and really stayed disciplined on the RPO game for Spearfish.
Yeah, it's a tough system to prepare against. We'll give shout out to Jackson Cooter all week in scout. I think he ran those RPOs about as well as any scout team quarterback could, so that gave us a big advantage. But yeah, with an athletic quarterback like Spearfish has, knew we just had to kind of play a little more disciplined. We got a little too excited at times and went a little too far downfield, but all in all, when it mattered, stepped up and made some plays.
A guy I want to talk about on the defensive line is Talon Kenny. He's been in the backfield. He's generated some pressure this year, but I believe he got his first sack of the season on Thursday, first or second sack of the season for him. He was in the backfield making a play there. It feels like he's a guy who you watch the tape and you see him in the backfield causing havoc, but he doesn't have the counting stats as of yet. If he's a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah, for long variety of reasons that we've racked our brains with are not quite showing up on the stat sheet for some of those things like that. And I think we've said before, quarterback pressures aren't an official stat, nor do we track them. It's just kind of a feel thing, and it sure feels like we get a lot of those. And then you look at that, we've got, I'll use a plethora, right? A little Three Amigos reference, a plethora of interceptions on the back end. That's a direct result of those pressures. So yeah, Talon, converted quarterback from middle school quarterback to middle linebacker to defensive end, has really figured it out and does a great job there for us.
You got a lot of guys all over that D-line who get in the backfield. I know the sacks may not be there, but the tackles for loss are there for your defensive line. Ed Leomaro leads the way in that category, but Trace Gaskins has quite a few. William Guzman-Yugovsky's got in the backfield quite a bit. So you have a rotation of guys who the sack production maybe isn't there, but the tackles for loss are there.
Oh, yeah. When Trace does like he's supposed to, which is most of the time, he just drives me a little crazy when he kind of goes flying into the backfield thinking he can run down a quarterback. But when he does what he does, he makes some game-changing plays. And, yeah, Austin Conway made one, too. The play that sticks in my mind from Thursday night was, I think they were on it was our first goal line stop. They were about to score, and I think it was third down. And I just see him grabbing the running back by the waist and pulling him back. And, that was next play was fourth down, and they threw an incomplete pass and got off the field, and offense did a great job moving the ball down. So, that was all just Austin being that bend but don't break mentality, being tougher than the guy and pulling him down.
And then you mentioned bend but don't break. There's twice I think they had goal-to-go situations and didn't score a single point on either one of those. They ended up getting down again and getting that touchdown eventually, but twice goal-to-go, no points in those. That has to make you feel good focusing on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's really tough to do in high school football, and credit to those guys that, it's pretty easy to get down on yourself, but they rose to the challenge and just knuckled down and got a great push against a really good team that was super proud of them.
Coach Savvy, I know your position or your positional coaches for running backs. Well, running back had a great day on Thursday, over 230 yards rushing. Jason Sedlacek, we had him right around 170, which is his most of the season. And it wasn't just the short to medium gains that we see a lot where Jace gets 3 to 5 yards a carry. It feels like he's always falling forward. He was able to break out for 10, 16, 25, 12. He had a lot of long runs as well on Thursday.
Yeah. Our kind of motto this year before we, warm-ups and breakdown is every yard, every down, every time. And Jace epitomized that Thursday night in that game. I mean, he was running hard. Credit to the O-line. I mean, obviously it starts with them opening up some nice holes for Jace. But the yards after contact, I mean, like I said, that's something we don't track either. But, boy, if you could track yards after contact, I'd love to see how many of those yards came after, initial hits and stuff, because he just bounced off guys, went through guys, around guys. I was really impressed with his vision. We keep talking about that as the running backs. Once you bust through that initial line, then you got to have your head up, and then we're looking to find that alley, that daylight to bust through. And I was open a few times there. I was just thinking he was gonna get that one and just break away, and go the distance. But there's always just maybe one tackle short, that kept him from doing that. But the other thing is, running as many times as we did and as tough a running as it is, our ability to take care of the ball was the other thing. So I was really proud with Jason, and Feezer came in a few times and relieved him on a few runs and stuff. And I thought running game-wise, just really happy with how they did.
I almost don't want to say it on loud. I'll knock on wood real quick, but I don't remember Jace putting the ball on the ground really at all this year. So the ball security has been important for your running backs.
Yeah, that's the one thing we do every day in practice. I mean, every running back drill we do starts with ball security, because we know how important that is to take care of the ball. So that is something we definitely got to keep mentally, obviously sound, and then continue to do that heading into the next game here.
You got Sturgis coming up on Friday, finally back to Friday, so it feels like we're back to normal this week. Obviously, it's a game where people at home are going to be feeling like this is a retread, because I've brought it up to both Coach Huber and Hale, and then with Coach Olson and Coach Muth in the start. But the media narrative might be a little bit of a revenge game, but so far I've just heard this is business as usual. We want to win, and we want to beat them, but it's more so the top reason is if we win, we go to the Dome. That's the hugest thing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sturgis has a really good team. Kind of like last week, an athletic quarterback who's really slippery, makes big plays, and I mean, just like we saw against us, he did it last week against Watertown. So, just need to be disciplined on defense and beat your man. I guess do our 111th, and we should. If we can do that, we'll feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, and I think too, looking back at the loss that we took against them early in the season, I think that's going to help keep our kids in a much better mind frame. They know that this is going to be a tough matchup, tough fight, and we have to play, obviously, one of our best game executing on both sides of the ball in order to, come out with a win. But being at home is nice, and having a chance, again, to go up against this team that caught us earlier in the season. It'll be a fun game.
I think it's really fun for the class as a whole that, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, there used to be a time where you look at a West River team coming across the state and you maybe mentally start marking the W already. Can't really do that anymore with these guys. Spearfish last week, they've been on an upward swing over the last couple of years. Sturgis obviously has been a very, very good team all year long. You can't really sleep on these guys anymore, and I think that's great for the parity of the class and makes every Friday a lot more fun.
Absolutely. Well, I noticed in the paper on Thursday that our Yankton is 7-3 versus Spearfish all time. So I've never really felt that way because of those 3 losses for Yankton. 2 of them were my junior year when Spearfish won the state championship. So I've always looked at them as West River schools as a kind of tougher Cowboys and a tough game. But yeah, right now they're both playing really good football. They've got some young players. They're going to be a pain to deal with here from here on out, I think.
Yeah, and they made it this far for a reason, obviously. They've had a great season, and they made it to the second round of the playoffs. So, like I said, it's going to be a good matchup. We're just glad we're at home.
That's the perk of being one of those top 2 seeds.
Yes.
Get to play at Crane one final time this year.
I think the weather's going to cooperate. Last I saw, too.
That's a win in my book, too. We have to keep our window open while we broadcast. So I'd like it to be, I'd like it to not have any precipitation on Friday if we can avoid it.
Yeah.
I always like to bring up college football on this show, too. I know, Coach Savvy, you got the Nebraska jacket on right now, or quarters open.
Heading down to watch Nebraska and USC.
Yeah, so Huskers USC tonight. What are your predictions for? Because Coach Schwach, you're a Husker fan too, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh, you are wrong.
I am wrong. Never mind.
I'm not.
Who was the Husker fan? Beacom's the
Husker fan on his way to the game right now. Yep.
Who do you root for, Coach Schwach?
I am a Coyotes fan, and Iowa State is where I went to college for a bit. But yeah, heading over, should have a good game against North Dakota today, and my first game I've been able to make it to this year. So hopefully, I'm not the bad luck charm. Right. Maybe I'll be a good luck charm for the Yotes.
I'll tell you, Coach Schwach, Iowa State is the Iowa team that I respect more. So
we're in good company.
Growing up in Iowa, Iowa State was the one that I had less of an issue with.
Yeah.
So we'll say go Cyclones for a Saturday morning.
There you go.
All right, thank you both for coming in today. Have a great rest of your weekend, and good luck to the Bucks on Friday.
All right,
thanks, Brayden.
That was Coach Schwach and Coach Savvy here on KYNT and KYN TV. Back in a couple minutes to keep things rolling on Huddling with the Herd.
A couple days ago, a teacher came into the UPS store to print some worksheets for her classroom. As we were printing, she asked if we could help her design and print a custom banner for her school's upcoming event. Yes, we can. At the UPS store in Yankton, where for over 8 years we've been serving educators, businesses, and community members with all kinds of printing solutions. Stop by today and let us assist with your next project, and be sure to ask about our shipping services or current print specials.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? Sports injuries can happen quickly, posing threats to your health and ability to participate in your regular athletic activities. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson from First Chiropractic Centers. Chiropractic care can provide pain relief from sore and aching muscles and lead to faster recovery after workout by easing the inflammation you experience, like stiffness, pain, or restricted movement. Visit with us about managing your sports injuries. First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome back in here on Huddling with the Herd on KYNT and KYN TV. Big thanks to all the football coaches making a trip in this morning to talk about Yankton High School football. Only one game guaranteed left for the Bucks, 2 games potentially, as they're heading to the 11AA semifinals this week on Friday against Sturgis. Switching gears, let's talk Yankton High School volleyball. 3-1 win over T Area earlier this week. The 4-match set ended 25-14, 20-25, 25-17, and 25-10. So outside of that one set they dropped, a fairly dominant performance for the Gazelles. Berkeley Olson leading the way, 14 kills in the win. The Gazelles will travel to Watertown on Monday for the penultimate game of their regular season against the Arrows before coming back home on Tuesday and wrapping things up at home against Brookings. That will be senior night, I believe, for the Gazelles as well on Tuesday. Get out there and support Yankton volleyball as they're fighting for a spot. Honestly, they're not really fighting for a spot in the SODAC anymore. They're fighting to increase their standing in the SODAC 16. Heading into the matchup earlier this week with T Area, the Gazelles were 13th in the standings heading into that one. That would have matched them up with the 4-seeded Rapid City Stevens in the SODAC 16. And looking at the updated standings, as of this morning, the Gazelles are still 13th, but actually they would travel to Watertown, the 4-seed. The Arrows jumped Stevens to get into the 4 spot. So that's an even bigger matchup on Monday now. Could be a preview of what Yankton could see in the SODAC 16 against the Watertown Arrows. Also a big game on Tuesday, the Brookings Bobcats right behind Yankton in the standings. So we'll see how that all shakes out on Monday and Tuesday. Good luck to the Gazelles in those matches this week against the Arrows and the Bobcats. Looking now to cross country, they had their state championship for Class AA last Saturday in Huron. Both the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles teams placed 8th at the championships. The Gazelles were led by Nora Yeomans, who placed 24th as the highest Yankton finisher for either team. Rylan Jackson took 48th, followed by Abby Johannesson 49th. Avery Woosterwald finished 53rd, and Delaney Yeomans came in 73rd. The Bucks were led by Brighton Olson in 32nd, followed closely by Luke Femer in 33rd. They were then followed by Harrison Kraske 37th, Isaac Paulson 55th, and Ethan Brendan 73rd to round out the scoring. Also for Yankton, Gabe Rock placed 74th, and Isaac Larrington took 76th. Sioux Falls Lincoln would win the team title for the boys' side, and the Harrisburg Tigers would claim the team title in the girls' race. Congratulations to Yankton Cross Country on a successful season, a pair of 8th place finishes as a team, and some top 30 finishes, top 30 finish for Nora Yeomans coming in 24th. Last but certainly not least here, competitive cheer and dance. They also wrapped up their season on Saturday, the state championships in Watertown. They placed 3rd and 13th respectively, with dance finishing 3rd overall, led by a 2nd place finish in Palm and a 3rd place finish in Jazz. Yankton Cheer would score a 222.5 to finish 13th. Harrisburg took home the team's title in cheer, while Brandon Valley was 1st in dance. Individual honors as well for competitive cheer and dance. Yankton High School had 9 athletes selected as all ESD honorees for cheer and dance. The dance team had 5 honorees, all seniors, in Aria Bodette, Taya Kennedy, Cami Larson, Paige Reese, and Olivia Wentz. 4 members of the Yankton cheer team were selected as all ESD, freshman Avery Brinkman, junior Quinn Brinkman, and seniors Cadence Larson and Miriam Teray. As for more individual honors, 2 members of the Gazelles dance team were named All-State for competitive dance in Class AA. Aria Bodette and Paige Reese. They both helped lead the dance team to that 3rd place finish we talked about at the state championships. Congratulations to all members of the competitive cheer and dance programs, all the ESD honorees, of course, Aria Bodette and Paige Reese getting named All-State for competitive dance in their senior seasons. We're not done yet here on Huddling with the Herd. We're going to switch gears and bring you YHS Nation when we come back. Scotty Borman was able to catch up with Gwen Winnish talking about the Yankton High School Band and that department and what they got going on here coming up shortly. That's coming up when we come back. YHS Nation around the corner here on Huddling with the Herd.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? Sports injuries can happen quickly, posing threats to your health and ability to participate in your regular athletic activities. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson from First Chiropractic Centers. Chiropractic care can provide pain relief from sore and aching muscles and lead to faster recovery after workout by easing the inflammation you experience, like stiffness, pain, or restricted movement. Visit with us about managing your sports injuries. First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
It's game on at Yankton Pizza Ranch. Our buffet is loaded with hot pizzas, sweet desserts, and the country's best chicken. Plenty of food and plenty of room for a whole team or your whole family, whether you're celebrating a big win or just hungry for one. Everybody leaves full and happy. So huddle up and make it a buffet day every day from 11 to 8 at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Attention everyone, health insurance open enrollment on the marketplace is happening now, November 1st to December 15th. This is your chance to review your plan, explore new options, and make sure you and your family have the coverage you need for the year ahead. Call me, Jen Great, with Missouri River Associates today. I can help you navigate the marketplace and find the plan that fits your needs. 665-6885. Don't wait, open enrollment ends December 15th.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With Optomap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. Optomap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your Optomap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Credit union people are my people. Dreaming big, keeping life simple. Saving smart, living free. At Explorers Credit Union, you're just like me. We chart new trails, we stand tall. Together we rise, together we call. Credit union people are my people, it's true. And I found my crew at Explorers CU. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit ExplorerCU.com to join the journey today.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV. It's time to talk about YHS Nation. YHS Nation is your weekly look in at an activity or event outside of athletics going on around Yankton High School. This week's interview is with Gwen Winnish, the band director at Yankton High School. She spoke to Scotty Borman about what they got going on here coming up and recently as well around the band program. Let's go to the interview now here on KYNT and KYN-TV.
Good morning. This is Scotty Borman for another installation of YHS Nation. I'm here with Gwen Winnish, the band director. So how are you doing today, Gwen?
Doing really, really good. How are you guys?
Awesome.
Wonderful.
We've talked a few times this year, and we've had some really cool things happen. Last time I talked to the band, it was actually your band majors after the March to the Meridian.
Yeah, that was a very, very fun and exhausting day, but a very fun day. Neat way to showcase the music in our area, absolutely.
And our town, because they get to see the town and our home stadium.
Yep. It's nice putting those things on the forefront and showcasing what we have here in the Yankton community and how we're cohesive with all the different events and stuff that go on. Everybody has an opportunity to shine.
Yes, exactly. And then I know you've gone to some competitions since then, and I saw a nice little new piece of hardware you've got on the desk out here.
So the last Saturday in our competition series was October 18th, and we road tripped over to Vermilion and went to the Quad State Regional Championships. And our band placed second out of their division of 4A, and they did an outstanding job. I was so very, very proud of them. It was our best performance so far. So it's so nice to sit there and see it have that progression that you can look at in your competition series and like, okay, here's our step one. Yeah, we know we need to fix X, Y, and Z. Let's fix X, Y, and Z. Okay, then we fix X, Y, and Z. Okay, now we're going to focus on ABC. Mm-hmm. And let's push on that. Let's keep X, Y, and Z and ABC now. And then we're going to keep pushing forward. And those kids just kept rising to every challenge. It was so neat to see. And every one of us, when we got off of that field at the end, we're like, whatever the results may be, this was our best show yet this season. This is what we were shooting for. And all of us were incredibly proud of what we did. And then when the awards came out, I mean, it was, the kids were super excited as to where we placed at. It was a neat event, yeah.
It's sort of like my dad, who is an old coach here at YHS, would say, it's like, if you do your best, that's what we're asking for.
Right.
And it sounds like they did that.
Yes, you can easily get into a numbers game or a battle of, oh my gosh, this school is our arch rival or this school is our enemy. We need to make sure we score higher than that guy. And, I mean, at the end of the day, by pushing for your own success, you're actually hoping for somebody else's weaknesses. And so it's kind of a not a good way to move through the world. I don't know. There's so much negativity in the world now. So just getting kids to go, you know what, we want to shoot for our best and play at our utmost level of competition. And then wherever the score is, the score is. And that was how they walked into this last competition. And they wanted to do well. They wanted to push for, what they felt would be a successful rating. But it wasn't walking in on it going, we need to defeat the other guys. It was, let's just go out and let's put out the best show that we possibly can and bring the intensity.
Yes.
So and make it a memorable performance for the seniors, because that was their last competition. So we always do kind of a little bit of a chat, motivation, a build-up before we go onto the field for competition. And each one of the seniors that wanted to chat could come up and say a few words. And that was the big thing. Let's just bring it. This is our last one. You know, you got to bring the intensity. Give us that 8 minutes of time and focus in on this. Let's make sure that we're all proud of this when we step off the field. And I think it was a very, very successful performance, absolutely.
Excellent. And talking about performances, we have a non-competition one coming up fairly soon, don't we?
Yes.
With a little twist to it, right?
Yes.
Got to squeeze all that outdoor energy inside.
Inside, yes. We have our indoor marching show coming up. It's going to be on Monday, November 3rd. And it's going to be a fantabulous event. We're so excited for it. There's just something about, like you said, shoving all of that intensity, all that energy from an outside field program into a gymnasium, and that place just gets rocking back and forth. And hold on 2 seconds. Yeah. You have the echo even happening in there just from the loud sound and everything. So you have that.
I think technically that's called acoustics, right?
Yes. So you have the wonderful acoustics of a gymnasium that don't always mitigate great performances for bands. That's why a lot of the times we do all of our concerts in the theater here and stuff. But the acoustics in there, when it comes to a pep band or a marching band show, it just goes, and it's just booming in there. So it just builds the intensity all the way through. Again, it's our last show where the kids get to do the show for the last time. We also recognize our seniors and the band parents, the senior band parents that have helped commit to this program and help make it the legacy that you've got. I mean, we've got a full shelf of trophies up there, and it takes every student, committing 100% to attain some of those things and help build the reputation that we have here within the Yankton band program. We're going to recognize those seniors for their leadership and continuing that strong tradition. Recognize the parents because, oh my Lanta, with the stuff that we do and the time commitment and some of the kids with their instruments, there's a pretty good financial commitment for the upkeep of them. Want to make sure the parents know that they hold a special place in our hearts too for constantly supporting their kids within the band program. And then we got raffles that we're doing as a fundraiser, and we've got all sorts of some good things. We got cakes that we're going to have. We got band parents that are volunteering to make awesome elaborate cakes and desserts options, and going to raffle those off and have some business sponsors that have sponsored some different basket raffles for us to utilize. So it's going to be a little mini fundraiser for us too.
So that's going on beforehand?
It's going on beforehand, yep.
Okay.
I think we're going to start selling our raffle tickets at about 6:15 that night, and sell all the way through till about 10 to 7. That way we can shut the sales down and have those band parents that are out there helping sell make sure that they have a seat to come in and watch their kids, because that's sometimes with some of the sacrifices that some of those band parents make of I need to be here to help the band out, so I'm going to do my thing, but then at the same time they end up missing a show here and there.
They don't get to enjoy the fun part of it. Yeah.
And sometimes I remember as a parent, sometimes you're like, I'm just going to keep my mind off of things so I don't have to settle in and think about the fact that this is my last performance for my kid, because then you can help keep the emotions at bay. But it is, at the end of the night, it is a very emotional night. You'll look around and you'll see a lot of those seniors that have tears in their eyes, and a lot of their parents are realizing that, hey, things are coming to an end. And for as much stress and frustration as hectic schedules can build into a family dynamics, it's tough to see that go.
Yeah.
So.
Understood. So let's get some particulars. You said Monday. Give me some times, and obviously the main gym.
Yep,
right?
Main gym in the high school here. Event starts at 7:00, and then we do have an admission charge of $10 per person, $5 for students. We have raffle tickets that are going on, and those will be sold from 6:15 till about 10 to 7. We're going to get things rolling with the national anthem, and we have our local VFW representing the colors for us that night, and then the YMS Middle School Band is going to be here, and they're going to be doing a little tune, and we're going to do a combined number again, and then we're going to take care of everything else along with section intros and get things rolling. It should wrap up probably around 8:15.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be a fun night. I encourage everybody to come on out. It's going to be great.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Gwen. This has been great. This is Scotty Borman for KYNT.
Big thanks to Scotty Borman for conducting that interview with Gwen Winnish, the Yankton High School band director. In case you missed it in that interview, indoor marching band concerts on Monday at 7 p.m. Excuse me there for a second. That's coming up at the Yankton High School main gym. That is Monday at 7 p.m. So get out there this Monday evening and support the marching band for their indoor concert. Looking at some other events coming up this week. Looks like next weekend, heading into the weekend, next Friday, oral interpretation is at Mitchell High School for the Mitchell McGovern Invitational. So oral interpretation, we had them on the show, I believe, a few weeks ago now, getting some shine as they go to Mitchell next Friday. That's going to wrap up Huddling with the Herd this week here on KYNT and KYN TV. I appreciate everybody for tuning in this morning. Thank you to all the coaches who came in. Of course, Huddling with the Herd is brought to you by Explorers Credit Union, and we had some great pizza provided this morning, courtesy of Pizza Ranch here in Yankton. Legendary chicken and the best pizza, they're right on Broadway. Thank you to them, as always, for providing food for our hungry coaches these mornings. That's going to do it for us again, though. I've been Brayden Butler. This has been Huddling with the Herd. Until next week, stay safe, be good people, and have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk at you later.
KYNT, Yankton, FM 1021 and AM 1450.